What got me into cosplay was a love of Renaissance fairs, and back in the day, before it was even called cosplay, we would just dress up, go to the medieval fest, kind of do that, and then the technology kind of came along with foam and 3D printing, and it kind of took off from there. My name is John Fleming. I'm a cosplay enthusiast and 3D print and prop maker, primarily Marvel, DC, superhero universe. I've been making since pre-internet, back when we would have to go to the library, find a book or somebody with the knowledge to train us or get an idea of where we could start, and we just kind of took off from there. My first costume I ever made was I went full tilt and built an Iron Man suit once the Iron Man movies came out. Templates started to become available for it, and it was a lot easier to get with the technology. So my first costume was a full Iron Man suit that I made. It didn't last as long. I learned a lot of the issues with going to like Zubu, and the cold that would be a factor with foam. It split on me in several different ways and such. But I transitioned to 3D printed Iron Man, which is also my favorite costume because I've always liked the full armor suits. I think it goes back to the armor wearing days. It's always been a passion of mine wearing that kind of stuff. The easiest way to make something out of foam would be to just start checking the internet for templates, get an idea of the costume you'd like to make, download some basic patterns, transfer them to some foam, get an idea for your size, and then you can go from there on creating more and more pieces, updating it, adding to it, um, embellishing as you see fit. 3D printing, there's a great benefit to 3D printing over foam. As you can see, Iron Man helmet that I had made, obviously this is a much older helmet that I made back when the movies started first coming out, but there's a lot more wear and tear on the foam versus this helmet that I made 3D printed, which you won't ever see wrinkle or start to deteriorate like the foam does to you. But there's a lot more startup costs, there's a lot more involved. But whereas foam, you can just start with a minimal budget and go from there and make what you want, and it's very comfortable to wear. First prop I made was a shield for a live action role playing game we used to do. It was a aluminum pizza pan that I made a brass kind of fitting on the front for, and then outlined the side in foam and wrapped in leather. And it came out really well. You'd never know it was all those materials, but it was very lightweight, and I was very proud of it at the time. Let's see, props. I started with smaller props, just making small Groot heads and such, but I tend to go bigger. So I've made full-size Mjolnir, full-size Stormbreakers. I like the full-size helmets, obviously. Now I've been making a life-size Bat Signal, a life-size Batman. In the comic books, he's 6'2", so that is what I scaled my Batman statue up to, as well as my Iron Man. He's about 6'4", I believe. But I tend to make things bigger. I just kind of like them that way. I think there's more presence to them, more shock and awe when somebody sees it. So I just enjoy making the larger props. Tips I would have for a beginner starting with foam: just be patient. It's foam. If you cut it too small, just continue making it because the next one you make is going to be better. I made probably 3 or 4 of these helmets before I made one that was my size. The shape was correct. I liked how the things came together. So even if you're making a mistake, you're still going to learn from what you're doing. But just be patient and go slow and try things out. Tips for cosplaying using 3D printing: the technology's become so prevalent everywhere. It's more realistic. Don't think you're just going to go buy a printer and push a button. We're not there yet, but there is a lot of good files out there you can purchase and you can work with. But obviously go to like the Erie County Library. I would recommend to talk to people, get an idea of 3D printing, see what they can offer you, and work with people that know it first and give you an idea versus just going out buying a printer and getting frustrated that it's not just push and play. If anyone ever is interested in making something or having me make something or collaborate with them on something, they can find me at Icons Unlimited on Instagram or Facebook and send me a message or just follow to see what we're making or doing or where we are at that time.